Okay, so do you believe, just we get, it's a natural, I don't do it this for the cameras anyway. Yeah, it's just a natural conversation. So do you believe in a creator, you said? You said God is the manifestation of the sun. So do you believe that God became the sun, manifested himself as the sun? Do you believe he was always the sun, eternally?
Alright, so there's the sun, and then there's the stars.
Okay.
Alright. Now if you read into the electrical universe theory, all the stars have a singular point because they are all feeding off each other. They're like, imagine a city, they're all powered by their lights, lamps everywhere, and there is a central hub of energy. So that is basically God in the materialistic sense, and then there's the spiritual aspect, if you believe in different dimensions and all that stuff, and a lot of it has been written down by all these ancient texts like the Rig Veda or the Vedic texts, other
can I ask you a question on that? Do you know how old is the Vedic text when it comes to carbon dating? Because you made a claim that it's one of the oldest texts.
One of the oldest, not the oldest.
No. It's not about the claim I'm making is the following, right?
Yep.
I can say, I write something today, right? Mm-hmm. And I say this statement was originally said 5,000 years ago, right? Yep. I can do that.
Yeah.
But do I have a carbon dated manuscript that dates back to 5,000 years ago? Do you understand the difference between the two, right? And that is the following with the and the Hindus writing, is it doesn't date back to the source. You don't have writings from the original time.
Down orally.
Now passed down orally. Now, when it comes to Muslims, I'm sure you're aware about how we pass things down orally, Muslims, like the Qur'an. Do you have any idea?
Well, it's a similar concept.
No.
Like you need. In order to remember things, it has to be through patterns and almost poetry.
No. As Muslims, we have something which we call a chain of narration, right? We have the source. The source is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? For example, right? For Islam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told something to one of his companions, right? We have the name of the companion who heard from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his name, his biography. What did his community say about him? Is he trustworthy? Is he honest? Should we accept his statement, right? Then we have the person who heard from that companion, all the way back coming to our time. Right? And then we call that a chain of narration. The chain must be connected all the way back to the Prophet. We must know all the individuals in the chain, the trustworthiness, their truthfulness and honesty, and what their community said about them. Chain cannot have a disconnection. So for example, one person narrated of a person who never met, right? Who came after him 100 years or something. Do you get the point? So that kind of concept we call it as a science of narration, science of hadith, that only exists in Islam. Now when it comes to the Hindu scriptures, if you go ask someone, give me a chain of narration, right, of your oral tradition, who told you, who told it, they don't have anything, right? So anyone can make a claim that, this is actually one of the ancient, etc., right? Where is the evidence, right? So a lot of people, my friend is actually writing a book on this, which maybe I will give it to you when he writes it, publishes it. He's writing that the origin of humanity was monotheism, not paganism. So a lot of people think that the origin was paganism. No, the origin was monotheism, and paganism was a later development, right? So people start with worshipping one creator, then it moves to objects, physical beings, etc.
I've heard that argument.
Yeah, of course. Now it's a long argument. It's not what I'm getting onto right now. What I want to talk about is the following. You said God is the energy source that feeds everything, right? Am I representing you correctly? Okay. Now, if God is the energy source that is feeding everything, do you believe the things
connecting us all as well?
Yes. Do you believe that energy source is eternal, always existing, and what he or what it, if you want to use it, the energy that it feeds, right? These things like you and me, that we are receiving the energy, are we also eternal, or are we created and then given energy by that entity?
I would say our consciousness is eternal. And our bodies, because it's recycled matter, atoms and all that stuff. And the God itself being eternal, I'd say also, because the Big Bang, people don't point to what happened before the Big Bang. Well, I suggest that right now we're expanding the universe, but at some point it's going to slide back into itself. That will be another Big Bang. So it repeats itself, you know, the cycles.
Okay. Now, just to clarify a bit more, because I didn't get the answer that I was looking for. I was asking for, like you said, that the souls, the consciousness are eternal. Is the physical world, right, like the universe, is it something that had a beginning, starting point that God started giving energy to? That's the question I'm asking.
I don't particularly believe in the linear progression of the universe necessarily, because I could believe it's. I could believe it more like a like a wheel, you know. It's like there's no beginning or end. It's just constant.
Okay. So you don't believe the physical world had a beginning? Okay. So do you worship the creator or do you worship the physical objects like the sun, etc.?
There is the material aspect of the creator, and the closest we can get to is the sun, and all the other religions in the world pay homage to the sun at some point. So
which other religions?
I do believe in Atlantis.
You said all the other religions.
Because
that includes Islam, Judaism, and Christianity.
Whoever was in the Middle East thousands of years before Islam, same in China, India, Japan, Europe, Africa. The sun deity always is at utmost in front, and then they evolve into the different religions that we know today.
That's incorrect.
Is it?
That's incorrect. Like for example, what do you know about the ancient Egyptian beliefs?
That they derive it from the Atlanteans.
No, it's not who they derive it from. Did they just worship the sun, the gods, the sun god? Did the pagan Arabs in Mecca, which is you referred to, did they worship the sun god?
And the moon god.
No. The pagans Arabs of Mecca believe these objects, right, are intermediates to reach the creator, which who they refer to as Allah, and they believed Allah is not just an energy source that feeds these things as you believe, right? So their beliefs are completely different to your beliefs.
That sounds similar to the Hindus.
Sorry?
The Hindus.
Yeah, Hindus are the same. Why did they worship these individuals, for example? They worship individuals, the statues of individuals. They believe these individuals were righteous people, and because they were righteous
all manifestations of the one true God.
No, they didn't believe that. That's why I'm disagreeing with you. They believe these people were righteous, meaning in their actions and behavior in life. So they believe the more you're righteous you are, the more you're closer to God, right? Makes sense. So then they said these people are closer to God. So if I ask them to ask God, it's easier than someone like me who is not good asking God directly, right? So that was their faith. Their faith is completely different, because that's what I believe is the problem. A lot of people think that paganism is just one thing, right? Where you say, oh, these people were pagan, these people were pagan. No, there's multitude of different pagan beliefs that contradict each other, right? And you cannot make the claim that we're all pagan. No, they had different beliefs about creator and about creation, etc., right?
Not necessarily all polytheistic.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, So coming back to the key point, which is about the universe, which is I want to discuss, Okay. Now you made a claim that the universe had a starting point, right? And then it will come back to the initial starting point. Who says that from the physicists? Which physicist says that? Where do you get that concept from?
I don't know specifically, but a lot of people call there's a lot of hypothesis of
hypothesis. I like the word.
And they assume that.
Assume. I love that word as well.
If we keep expanding, then the universe shouldn't exist.
No, they don't. There's three theories, right? And the weakest is the one you're referring to. The weakest theory is the one you're referring to. Why? And I will say why the universe must have a beginning. I'll say why, but not now. Okay. First, there is one theory that says, which is called the deep freeze. You know the deep freeze, Deep freeze is where you have, this is not the one you're talking about, it's a different theory. We see dark matter. We don't know what it is, We don't know the reality of what dark matter is, right? We just understand it's dark matter, Now, dark matter works in a way opposite to gravity. It separates between things, gravity brings things together, So they say that now gravity has been always consistent, and the universe is expanding. Therefore, they say that's the most common happening theory, which is that the universe will continue to expanding, that it will absorb all the energy, and the suns will die out and everything will die out, right? So it's not talking about a cycle, continuous cycle. No, it's just talking about an expansion.
Big bang start.
But continuous
deep freeze.
Exactly, everything will freeze. Exactly. Then there is another theory, which is say it's called the Big Rip. which is saying that the dark matter, because as we said, it separates things, that they say the dark matter is consistent now, but some say maybe the dark matter will become more powerful when it expands, right? And if it does, then it will rips everything apart, because it will become more stronger than gravity, which brings everything together. Then you have the weakest theory, which is the one you referred to, right? That gravity will become stronger than dark matter, which then will bring everything together again into a singularity, a single point. That's the weakest theory, and is held by the least amount of physicists.
Why do you think it's the weakest theory?
Because as we said, dark matter has been always consistent. I was being given the reasons when I speak it. Dark matter has been always consistent, right? Always, since we observe it, is consistent. That's why the strongest theory is the deep freeze. Because we look at dark matter, it never changes, always the same, consistent, staying at it is. So all assumptions is going to change, whether to become stronger or weaker.
We say like Einstein's relativity has come to question a lot of times.
Look, these kind of scientific theories, right? Like you had the ideas of Newton, then you have the ideas of Einstein, right? All of these scientific theories are just looking at the physical world, right? Then coming to the best conclusion they can come, right?
Yeah.
Too. So we as Muslims, we rely more on where we get certainty, right? Which is I will explain later on, right? But coming back to what I'm saying, right? If that is the most common belief, then we say that the universe does have a beginning, which is the most common, actually, point of view of physics, right? If you're getting your information from scientists, right? You said something else, which we don't know what was before the Big Bang. Do you know why? Why do we not know what was before the Big Bang? Because time and space continuous, according to science, started with the Big Bang. Therefore, we as beings, human beings, are restricted by time and space. So we cannot access that which was before time and space, right? So if time and space started with the Big Bang, that necessitates that there was something not restricted by time and space that gave rise to time and space. Do you agree? Okay. So we say the Creator is not restricted by time and space. It doesn't restrict his attributes, restrict his existence. He created time and space. He started time and space, right? It was not always in existence. Therefore, we separate. Now, coming to the separation, we separate between the Creator and the creation. Because if the Creator created time and space at a certain point of time, he was not within time and space. Make sense? Okay. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or you want to say something? Okay, good. So we say as Muslims that the Creator requires power, obviously, to create all of this magnificent universe, including the sun, by the way, right? All the suns, because they're all stars, right? It requires a lot of intelligence to put the laws within the universe, right? Laws of physics, requires wisdom. And also the Creator requires to be independent of what it created, because it was before it. It has to be one, to be independent. And then it's not restricted by time and space. These are the common attributes of what we refer to as a divine deity or a creator, right? Now, moving on. When you create something, you give it purpose. Do you agree? Person who made your hat, for example, shade you from the sun, right? And my hat as well, yeah? So that is the purpose given by the maker, by the manufacturer. When you create something, you ascribe purpose to that which you created. If the creator, the universe had a starting point, and the creator created the universe, therefore the creator gives purpose and reasons and functions for what he created. Make sense? Okay. So we say, looking at the universe around us, right? Everything is going in a system and working in harmony, etc. Like this, I'll give a few examples soon. For example, as humans, right? We breathe oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide, right? We have this tree. This tree just happens, according to atheism, just happens to give us to give us oxygen and take carbon dioxide. So work in complete harmony with our existence as humans. And if this tree is not there, we will be all dead. Why? Because we produce 15 tons of carbon dioxide each year. That carbon dioxide, if it goes to the ozone sphere, which is 0.004 carbon dioxide, we all burn. Because the more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the more the heat it is, right? So this tree is saving our life in a sense, right? This is the harmony that the Creator has put within His creation. When we look at everything else is working in harmony as well in creation. Now we come to that human being, the odd one out, right? We're saying the odd one out who's not following the harmony within. What is everything the universe doing is submitting to His Creator. It's following the laws, the natural laws that God has placed within the universe. You only find the human being is not doing that, unfortunately. He's not submitting to the natural laws and the creation that the Creator has placed within His creation.
I think he is.
Tell me how. How do you think?
Are we not flesh and blood?
Yes, we are flesh and blood. But when I mean physical laws, I don't just necessitate to the flesh and blood. When we are flesh and blood, Allah did not, or the Creator, as you said, did not only create us with flesh and blood, He also gave us consciousness, right? He also gave us a part of us.
Don't you think that other creatures that have consciousness that are as good, if not better, maybe on different planets, you know?
Yeah, Islam says, that's a good question, And Islam says in the Qur'an, right, in chapter 16, Allah says in the Qur'an, chapter 16, that He created us. He mentioned some of his creation, including horses and animals, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I give you these for adornment, I'm using it for traveling. And then he said, وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, and he creates what you don't know. So Allah creates creation we don't know. Also Allah says in the Quran, these are all indications that there is things we don't know, right? Allah says also in the Quran that He created the human beings and He favored the human beings over many of His creation. That means there is more favored creations than the human beings, right? Which we don't know of as humans, right? So there is Allah is one of His attributes is Al-Khalaq. Consistently creates, yeah? Creates, He's the creator, right? His attributes. So we're not that special like kind of idea of Christianity you might see, right? We're not the only creation of God in this. No. There is a lot of creation. We're just one of them. That God wants us also to submit to His laws, His commands, right? And His moral aspect, His moral commands, because we are within His creation as well. We should be in harmony with everything around us as well.
So you
right?
agree that the laws prescribed by Islam can also be seen in science?
What do you mean by that? Can you clarify what you mean by that?
Let's take homosexuality, for example.
Okay, good.
Could you say there's...
You like controversial topics, don't you? Yeah, I don't mind.
There's intrinsic knowledge. Intrinsic the internal and external.
Yes.
So internal is through experimentation, scientific, or looking at records.
The scientific method, which is kind of nearly describing, is the studying the physical universe, right, and natural world through experimentation, repeatability, and falsification, right? That's the scientific method.
Evidence.
Yeah, scientific method.
And there's the external knowledge, which is through tradition. So Islam could be one, of Christianity or Judaism. So homosexuality, for example, you say is problematic.
Who says I do?
Well, as a Muslim, I'm presuming as a Muslim.
Yeah, I know, that's all right. I was just joking.
And from a scientific point of view, you could say hypothetically, if a tribe allowed homosexuality to go run rampant, then not only will the birth levels reduce, it makes them vulnerable to either other tribes to easily conquer them, or it corrupts the morals of their own tribe.
If they become homosexual,
or if you allow homosexuality to run rampant.
You're saying if you allow homosexuality to become rampant, the tribe becomes weaker.
Yeah.
So I don't still understand what you're trying to say.
I'm saying because Islam has it in their traditions to outlaw sodomy, Don't you think that?
Okay.
Do you think it's something that they learned through experimentation?
Coming back to the discussion that we were, right?
Yep.
We believe as Muslims, right, that not the only source of knowledge is empiricism and empirical reality, right, which is what you're trying to describe, right? If I made this phone, assuming I made this phone, yeah. Who knows the most about this phone, me or anyone else? Obviously me, right? So if God created the creation, as we were saying, right, as we put evidences for, if the Creator created the creation, then who knows more about the creation, the Creator or us?
Creator.
Right. So if the Creator tells us something, do we still need to experiment as deficient beings and keep repeating our experiments, right, on the thing He told us, not on the things He didn't tell us? Because scientific method was developed by a Muslim, Ibn al-Haytham al-Andalusi. He developed the scientific method in his book called Optics. He's the first.
But didn't he also get it from the Greeks?
Yeah, he developed it. He developed the scientific method. He was there, but he developed.
Aristotle is the one who developed the scientific method.
No, when I say developed, maybe the word, my English is the problem.
Right.
Means he enhanced it. That's what I'm trying to say. It was there.
Right.
The one we're using today.
But the principle's still based on the same thing.
Not exactly.
Experimentation.
But the experimentation, repeatability, and falsification was enhanced or put forward by Ibn al-Haytham in his book Optics.
Because of technology, you'd say?
Sorry?
Better technology, you'd say?
Better technology? What do you mean?
I'm saying a caveman can experiment only so much because he's limited by technology.
Yeah, of course. We can experiment more. Yes, 100%. So what I'm trying to say is that if Muslims develop the scientific or work with the scientific method as well, and we have no issues with science, but we say if we have a text, for example, that tells me something about the physical world, I know it's coming from the Creator.
Yeah.
I know that it's 100% certain.
Right.
I should not use a method which is not 100% certain, which is a scientific method, to come to a conclusion that I already have certainty of. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, as a Muslim, but
no, I would.
Outside, I would say.
Would you agree if you get from the Creator? If you know it's from the Creator, like you?
Well, again, as a Muslim, you have no choice but to accept that.
No, I mean,
outside of Islam, I would say, well, you can read your text and you can do a scientific experiment, and if they interconnect, then you know it's true. Anyways.
Okay.
I'm saying like whoever writes text, any religious text, I'm saying that they are fallible to do lots of different things.
Okay, so there's two problems there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe my the question I asked was not as clear.
Yeah.
I'm saying leave Muslim outside now, yeah.
Yep.
I'm saying as you as a person. What's your name? I didn't ask.
Jamie.
Jamie, like I'm Mohammad, yeah. So Jamie, I'm saying as Jamie now, yeah.
Yep.
If you know for certainty that God told you a certain thing about the physical world. Leave now anyone. You know for certainty that kind of statement is from God. Mm-hmm. Would you still require to go and research to make sure whether what God said is right or wrong? You already know it's from God. You have evidences from God.
Personally, yes.
Okay. Then do you believe that God is perfect, doesn't make mistakes?
I presume he's not making mistakes.
You look at the universe, you should have the answer for that. Personally, I would say, just looking at the universe, right? Looking at the universe, looking at the harmony, looking at the wisdom, looking at the amount of knowledge that you require to create that universe, the constants that within the universe, the laws that within the universe, would necessarily lead you to the conclusion that God is ultimately wise, right? He's not like fallible beings like you and me.
Yep.
So therefore, if I know something is from God, me questioning it would just, to me, would be ridiculous, right? But some people, and that's the issue, right? The issue that, coming back to what we're saying, which is about submitting. Yep. Remember what we said?
Yeah.
So if I know it's from God, but I say, no, I know it's from you, I know you're perfect, but I don't want to submit to your laws, right? And that's an issue. We have no issues, as I said, with the scientific method, right? But we cannot say if it opposes the Qur'an, then, which what you're saying, then we research. I'll tell you why. Do you agree scientific method does not lead to absolute certainty?
No.
You believe it leads to absolute certainty?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, so I'm saying, would you agree? You said no. So you mean yes, right? So if you agree the scientific method does not lead to absolute certainty, and if God says something, is it absolutely certain or not? If you know, not leave Muslims now. Don't think like I'm speaking on Muslims. I'm saying generally, if you know as Jamie.
Again, my conception of God would not.
Imperfect God.
Yeah, well, again.
It's not a maximum being.
Yeah, but again, all right. But
I'm asking you.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, how can you believe that you know that the Creator would tell you this? You know.
Yeah, that's good. You can ask me that. Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question. And you should ask for the evidences, right? Whoever comes to you says the Creator said this, God said this. Ask for evidences, right? Now I'm going to give a general criteria that I believe people should use. Yeah, generally. Yeah. First, for text, any text that claims it's from God, it requires A, to be preserved. Do you agree? Yeah. Because if it's from God, it cannot happen, corruption cannot happen to it if He's given us as a guidance, right?
Yeah.
Two, it cannot have contradictions. Because we just said God, there's no contradictions within the physical universe that we see, yeah? Number three, it must have evidence proves it's miraculous in a sense that it comes from the Creator, right? Not just things that any human being could do. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Makes sense? Rational conclusions? Good. Now we look at the Qur'an, yeah? Or first we try to apply that looking at other scriptures. The only Asian religious scripture that is preserved fully, completely, the way it was in the time of Revelation is the Qur'an, right? This is about preservation. Number two, the only book that I believe personally claims there is no contradiction in it, and if there is a contradiction, it's not from God, is the Qur'an, right? Look at other books, multiple contradictions. I don't want to offend anyone by saying which religions, but I'm sure people know, right?
The Torah.
Yeah, not just many religions, right? The New Testament, Old Testament, and even the Hindu scriptures. These scriptures that are the famous religions of the world, they're full of contradictions, right? I can give examples if someone wants to hear as well. I don't mind.
Anything that passes down orally, is going to have some issues in communication.
I would say no, but I'll tell you why not. But I kind of agree and disagree. I agree and disagree at the same time. I'll tell you why not. Okay, so number three, I also say the only religion that has proof is from God is Islam as well, right? So I put this criteria, which I believe any rational, objective person would agree with, right?
Yep.
It's not a Muslim criteria kind of thing. No, but it's rational things, right? Okay, now, we said the Qur'an, it's my challenge, yeah? It's my challenge, I'm here, I come, right? Anyone who has contradictions can come and say, bro, look, contradiction is there, yeah? Yep. I don't mind, yeah? There's no contradictions in the Qur'an, and chapter 4, verse 82, it says, if it has any contradictions, it's not from God, right? So I would leave Islam, because look, the book says if there's a contradiction, why would I leave follow a religion when it says it's not from God, right? Okay.
Well, if you think it's in your self-interest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this is then people who are not open, sincere with themselves, right? I like people to be objective, sincere with themselves, right? And also Islam has commandments, right? So people generally would not follow these commandments like for waking up in the morning 4 a.m. to pray, yeah, fasting for a full month. People, this unless you know this is true, right? You wouldn't be doing these things. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right. So the preservation part now, which is you mentioned, then I will come to the evidences, right? Preservation part. Okay. If something is orally transmitted through one person, yes, then I completely agree with you. It can be corrupted. If something is transmitted through what we refer to as Muslims, we have a term. We call it tawatur. You know what it means? It means I told you something, but Jamie was not the only person there. There was over 10 people there, right? 10 people there who heard me. We knew all of them, as we said, names and biographies, everything. 10 people were there. The 10 people, each person transmitted to 10 people. The 10 people, each person transmitted to 10 people, right? Now, can what I said now be corrupted even though it happened? All of these people were honest, trustworthy. Just community knows them as honest people. They don't lie. They don't do bad things, right? That's how the community perceives them, not how they talk about themselves, right? All of the 10 people who tell other 10 people who told, etc., etc. Can that thing which I said be corrupted if we still have the names, the chains, biographies of each person that this person told, that this person told, this person told, and it's also written throughout history? Can it be corrupted?
I would say so.
How?
I don't know the details.
I would love to hear.
No, I mean, again.